How big was it before you chopped it up?
Oh, almost 30 kilos.
Oh, we're eating a 66-pounder, aren't we?
This is one incredible adventure.
Yes.
The fishing.
The fishing. Three fishing-mad amigos travel the world with one thing on their minds: carp.
Have a look at that. What a creature.
I'm Ali Hamidi.
Yes! Yes!
I'm Tom Dove. That's a huge old fish.
And I'm Neil Spooner. Look at that, a thing of absolute beauty.
Together, we're angling across the planet to find the biggest carp in the world.
My heart is racing.
As a species, they've grown to mythical sizes.
I'd be deeply disappointed if one of you two catch it.
But our journey changes dream to reality.
Yes! We'll take you on a wild ride to some epic locations.
That is spectacular.
We'll take on new challenges.
I'm dealing with it so well.
We'll push ourselves to the limits.
No!
But most of all, we'll catch monster carp.
In there swims a fish that's nearly 90 pounds.
This week, our fishing adventure takes us to Hungary, a country that has a special place in all of our hearts. As a threesome, it's where our monster carp travels began. As we tackled the mighty Lake Balaton, where Dovey managed the biggest carp, a 36-pound Balaton bruiser.
And now we're back, pursuing some of the monsters that inhabit this country. The lake we're ultimately heading to has some absolutely monster-sized carp, including the officially recognised Hungarian record, a fish called kuko, of around 90 pounds that would obliterate all of our PBs.
Can I beat my 70-pounder from Cassian, Ali his 79-pound PB from Gigantica, and can Tom beat his PB of 66 pounds and join the exclusive 70s club?
We're fishing for the biggest carp we've ever, I think all of us have collectively ever fished for.
Yeah, possible 90 pounder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a huge carp by any country standards.
So, swim choice will be critical if one of us is to nick the biggest king carp ever on our travels. And in true monster carp fashion, that will be decided by a mini fishing match.
What are you thinking about the match then, tomorrow?
I haven't done very well in draws recently, so I feel I'm going to probably do bad in that.
Spooner's going to probably win.
Spooner will probably win.
I'll come second.
You come second, and
Let's not bother doing it. If you think that's going to happen, I'll take that right now. If we're that convinced.
The following day under the mist, we arrived at our warm-up venue, aptly named Carp Love. Here, we'd be sharpening our swords to battle it out in a match for swim choice on the main venue.
it's a chilly one, boys, but it's a lovely morning for a bit of match fishing. What are you saying?
It would be lovely if there wasn't so much at stake, so I'm going to call this carp in combat.
It certainly ain't pleasure fishing, is it? Now, look, we knew there's going to be a draw. We've got swim 1, swim 2, swim 3. Here's some numbers I prepared earlier. Well, you go, Al.
I've got a good feeling.
I haven't.
I'm going to end up in the middle, aren't I?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So I'm drawing... Can we do it again?
He's got number 1.
I've got 2. I've got an end swim. Retake, because Tom Dove didn't draw well, shall we? From the top?
Middle again.
Come on, we've got, like, 2 vans, so much stuff to get out of them. Let's get rocking.
Let's get fishing.
Let's enjoy... Let's try to enjoy ourselves. Let's not abuse each other too much.
Someone's had a good draw. It was to be an accumulative weight match, fishing with 1 feeder rod each, and any fish counts. This lake holds predominantly carp, with an average of 3 pounds up to low doubles. Silver fish to go in the keep nets, with larger fish being weighed and returned as we go. This was going to be all down to tactics. I was going with a small hook and a trimmed-down orange pop-up. Anything that swims will pick this up.
Whereas myself and Ali were going with slightly larger red boilies in order to target a decent carp.
There were signs of fish in all of our swims. Feeders were loaded. Time to rock and roll.
You ready, lads? Very important match, this. Rods out in 3, 2, 1.
Good luck.
Yeah, best of luck.
I've already had 3. Good luck, great mate, Tom.
That's it, I'll just crack off. I think I might have loaded the feeder a bit much for this light line.
And so we waited.
And waited.
And waited.
It's slow, isn't she?
She is. Sometimes it takes a while to get going, though.
Barely keep a rod in the water down here.
Don't think we'll be getting in the England feeder team anytime soon. Bit of a slow start.
We were beginning to think this lake was devoid of fish, but out of the blue, Dovey, whilst reeling in, had something unexpected on the end.
Neil, I've got one.
Have ya?
Yeah, well, it's foul hooked and I don't know what fish it is. No, it's a little tiny skimmer bream, but they count, don't they, in matches, foul hooked ones?
I don't know. Yeah, I think they do, mate.
Didn't even know it's on the end.
With Dovey off the mark and signs of small silver fish feeding, I switched over to a bait that was perfect at targeting these fish, the humble maggot.
Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Oh, hello.
Is it a carp owl?
No, mate, it's one of my favourite species. I like them a lot more than carp. It's a skimmer bream.
Nice.
Next, I joined the skimmer bream party. Not once, but twice. Go on, the maggots. Every ounce counts.
This might be a carp. After a short fight, it was confirmed it was. Come on. Whee! There is a very strange-looking Hungarian carp, but the first one of the match. You never know, he might win me first place. Thank you very much.
Beautiful-looking carp. Well done, mate.
Yeah, all right. Calm down, Spoons.
It was weighed in by one of our senior adjudicators.
£3, 13 ounces.
The weight was logged and the fish safely returned. So the leaderboard at this early stage looked like this, with me on top. It was then that the lake suddenly decided to wake up, and now it was game on.
They all count.
I then had a bite and it was pulling more than a bream.
Looks like it's got a carp on. Not very big, that, is it, Spoons?
Is compared to me skimmers. Carp in the net. Get in.
It weighed in at £4 6 ounces, giving Spoons the lead, but not for long as I slipped the net under my second carp. What we want to see, though, go on, get you that net. Officially weighed in at £3 on the nose.
Me and Ali were in next with a skimmer apiece.
They all count, don't they? They all count.
Then I was in again. Another little comment. Come on, boy. £3 5 ounces, little tiddler, but that puts me into double figures.
And with no carp for myself, it's left me trailing behind.
Well, desperate times calls for desperate measures. I need to just catch carp now, so I've gone to a bigger hook and a 12mm pop-up. That's to ignore the skimmers and try to pick out literally the biggest carp I can catch.
Meanwhile, Spooner was quietly smashing in the skimmers, one after another.
This is what Neil does, though. He just creeps along with a load of little uns.
They all count, mate.
If I had any chance of catching these boys, I desperately needed my big carp tactic to work.
Oh! I was falling well behind. I need a proper big carp or something to get me back in the mix.
Al's got one on in the background. It doesn't sound like a small one.
Get in. Yes. Yes, Hamidi, you are back in the big end game.
It tipped the scales at an impressive £11 10 ounces. Biggest fish of the day so far.
What do you say, lads? Proper carp, this one.
It's worth 3 of mine, that one.
Worth about 100 of my things.
That Barney rubble propelled Ali straight to the top of the leaderboard. And if I was going to catch him now, skimmers were not going to help. So I changed back to boilies in the search for more carp.
That doesn't look like a skimmer, Neil.
That's right, it was a little carp.
Yes, back in the game.
It weighed in at a mahoosive £2 4 ounces. And minutes later, I'd only gone and landed another carp, which then got out again.
No,
Did you get out of the net? I hope you lose it now.
You're out of order, mate. Don't worry, it's in there, Tom.
That makes us all very, very close.
It was £2 14 ounces and put me within touching distance of the others, but just 5 minutes now remained of the match.
hoping for one last hurrah, just another big, just a carp, please.
I was away and it felt like a carp.
The spooner's in. I think it's seconds left as well.
Come on, baby. You are first choice to swim. Yes! Get in!
The old human hooter signals the end of another monster carp match.
My last carp weighed 3 pounds and 2 ounces, and so the final weights, including all the silvers, look like this. Happy days.
Well done, lads.
Oh, shut up, Neil.
Good game, good game.
It might look like a carp. It is, but it's also first choice.
Let's have that, Neil, please.
Tom!
I really needed that.
Oh, yeah, if you'd have caught this, you'd have had first choice.
Yeah, I would have.
Oh, yeah. That'll do.
We were in Hungary and the trip had kicked off with a nip and tuck match.
Yes! Get in!
But Spooner won, giving him first choice of swim on the main lake, a hidden jewel of a water near the town of Hatvan, and we were en route there now.
In there swims a fish that's nearly 90 pounds. That's exciting.
That is exciting.
This mighty 120-acre lake literally holds thousands of carp, ranging from single-figure scrappers to fish of 50, 60 and even 70 pounds, with the biggest of them all, a 90-pound absolute Goliath of a carp named Kuko. This fish would blow all of our king carp PBs clean out of the water. The challenge we're faced with is tackling the abundance of smaller fish.
Not unlike our previous Hungarian monster carp trip to Balaton, where we had to wade through so many small carp in order to reach the big uns, we wondered what lessons we could learn from our previous battles.
Our local contact had managed to book several swims for us to choose from around different areas of the lake. The depths, we were told, are fairly up and down, but we'd want to be targeting spots that are around 5 to 6 metres deep. With lots to think about, we decided to spend the rest of the day looking for signs of fish and make our swim choices after a good night's sleep, dreaming of monster carp.
It was our first full day, and after a good night's sleep, we'd all now picked our swims and were raring to go. I chose first and went for a swim with a plateau at 120 metres that also has a history of the big un being caught there.
I find myself out on a point, fishing out into the main bow. It's like a bit of a carp highway, I hope. Everywhere they go, they feel like they've got to come past my area to get into bays, out into the middle of the lake, down into the arm round to my back. And I'm just hoping it all pays off. Bit of regular baiting, rigs going in the same position, carp get used to finding food there, loads of bites.
I'd gone a few swims along from Spooner. I could fish off the side of the plateau and towards the main body of water.
I'm confident in where I've chosen. I'm accessing the main part of the lake, that main big body of water, so I feel like there's always going to be fish traffic around.
I'd chosen the opposite bank to the lads, and the wind was smashing into it. It felt good, as carp tend to follow big, warm winds on big lakes. I've decided to sort of hedge my bets a little bit and go well left of them, which means I can fish further out into the centre of the lake, which it looks like the home of the carp. It looks like that's where they're living, so I'm going to get to as close as that as I possibly can.
This lake has a rule that you can only fish to a maximum of 120 metres. Because of this, the carp tend to hang out towards the centre of the lake in a no-go zone and then come closer in to feed. Rowing boats aren't allowed, but bait boats are.
The boats have GPS and sonar, so you can map out the topography of your swim, and we all search for spots for around 5 to 6 metres. For these autumn carp, that's the depth that we felt would be best. Once spots were found, we dropped several kilos of boilies to create some interest.
With the areas located, it was now time to sort out the rigs.
Well, feels a long time coming. The rods are going out, and this is the starting rig. I've caught my biggest ever carp on this setup, the IQD rig. Big hook, big bait for big carp.
Didn't want to put all my eggs in one basket, so I've gone with 3 rigs. The 3 rigs I use for 95% of my fishing. Solid bag, combi rig, and the spinner rig. I've got hook baits of different sizes, different colours. It will give me an idea of exactly what's feeding out there. If something small's there, I'll catch it, but hopefully just a big old carp.
And I was going in with spinner rigs, tried and tested.
The baited rigs were each placed in the hopper of the boat, then the GPS took them to the pre-found spots, all at a distance of 120 metres.
Exciting stuff though, this.
When they reach the spots, you release the hopper, which drops the rigs, and that's then repeated for all the rods.
Well, that is them all set. And the wind is smashing in here, and if I'm completely honest, it looks really, really good.
Everywhere we go, I always say the team target is to catch a 40-pounder first. I believe it will probably have to be a numbers game to start catching the 40 and 50-pound. So we need to start getting a rhythm going as a team and get through those smaller carp to get to the big ones.
Whoa, it's exciting getting the first bite from a new place.
Right. Yeah, he is definitely blurry.
Here he is. This gives you a huge boost of confidence, this does. Come on. Didn't take long, did it? Well, there he is, our first carp from this lake, and he's 20 pounds and 8 ounces. And that is only just over half of what our team target is so far. But I tell you what, this has given me a lot of confidence. Thank you very much, old boy.
Whee! Of course he's had the first one. Idiot.
This wind was obviously playing right into my hands. Just half an hour later, and I was away again. It's mad to think that you could be connected to a 90-pound carp. Imagine if one of them just pops up. That's what we want.
Unfortunately for Dovey, his luck wasn't in this time.
Tell you what, it looks about the same size as the first one.
I reckon that's similar size.
Yeah. Well, he can have them, can't he?
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm gonna not do me normal. I'm just here for the big uns this trip.
I am genuinely. I do not care. I'll take one as long as its name starts with a K and ends in an O. Cuckoo! That's what I want. I'd be deeply disappointed if one of you two catch it.
The trip was heading the same way as our previous Hungarian adventure. Lots of smaller carp right off the bat. I'd slogged away and had eventually got into the bigger fish last time, but it took a while. But getting lots of bites would give the information I needed to really hone in on Cuckoo. And it wasn't long before I was in once again. Aside from catching lots of carp, what a lovely evening this is. Look at that, sun setting in the background, some moody clouds to the left as well. I couldn't be in a better place right now. And what made it even better was that this time it didn't feel like a 20-pounder. This feels bigger. This feels bigger. Come on. I'm actually quite nervous. Really want to get this one in the net. After 10 minutes of a tough and tense battle, I finally saw my prize. Look at the size of that. Yes! Woohoo! Yes! Right, that is a better fish. Our target was to catch a 40-pounder, and with help from one of the crew, we lifted it onto the scales to find out if we'd achieved it. That is 38.5 pounds. That's it, drop it down, Tobe. What a day this has been. Coming in. This is the reason we've come here. Some big old Hungarian carp. And what a way to end the first day. I've caught a few smaller ones, and to end it with a nice 38.5-pound mirror. Only 1.5 pounds of our team target in the first evening. The sun's setting. I've got to get my rods back out, and I am buzzing.
As we moved into the first night, Dovey's action continued, where he banked 5 smaller carp up to mid-20.
Here you go.
Ali managed a £20 common. I joined the party aided by the netting skills of Mr. Hamidi.
That is not a textbook netting style.
Which resulted in a
£28.10 confidence lifter, and we're off the mark.
It was the second morning on Lake Hatvan, and after a hectic night, Dovey was exhausted due to the unrelenting action. Ali and myself were refreshing our rigs and baiting our spots up at 120 metres.
Well, we're nearing the first 24 hours of fishing. Flying start for Dovey. A slowish start for me and Spoons, but I feel really confident, you know. I just hope it's not going to be a case of really working through loads of small ones. But I suppose the most important thing is to get the bites.
It wasn't long before normality resumed in Dovey's swim, but again, it resulted in a smaller carp.